Hey, what is going on, everybody? So, just doing a quick pop-up live Q&A. Been hanging out here in Montana, just working on my next project, saving some cash. Kowak and I have just been hanging out on BLM land. Been able to take the tow car back and forth into town. Uh, just been constantly working. What's up, Mayhem RV? So, if any of you have any questions to what's been going on, any updates, leave it in the comments right over there. But I'll give you all an update to future plans, what's going to be happening. So, here at the end of the month, beginning of September, I'm going to be heading down to Kansas. Going to be working with Wes on the bus. The original plan was to put underbay storage on this bus, but I think what we're going to do instead is actually finish the interior of the bus. Besides the ceilings, that's hooking up, the switch for the water heater, hooking up the diesel heater, as well as getting the radiant floor heat. Basically, getting this thing ready to go. Get it 100%. Besides the ceiling. Once I'm done in Kansas, I'll be heading over to Arizona to finish the ceiling. I know a lot of people are very excited, definitely more excited than I am to get the ceiling done. But we're going to be doing some sort of metal on the ceiling. I have my friend Billy lined up to do that. Also, Wes and I are going to be putting a metal door with some smart home systems. I'm going to put a Nest system on that, as well as Google Home in the bus, and do LED lighting that's controlled with my phone, as well as the Google Home itself. We're going to be removing the lights that are in here now. I've heard back and forth that the wiring that I used is good. I've heard that's bad. And even if it is, you know, a 2% chance that that's going to cause issues in the future, I'd rather just nip that in the bud, uh, get that, just do all new lighting. And then I might actually put speakers up there because it's basically speaker wiring. And I was planning on just maybe putting a sound system up there through the living room and then just replacing all the other lighting. So that is the plan for the next couple months. Wes has been hunkered down over in Kansas, and it'd be nice to get some work done with him. After that, the plan is to hang out in Arizona and New Mexico all winter, just kind of stay in one spot, be around one particular area, and not move around as much as you might expect. Diesel is not cheap in this thing, getting about 8 miles to the gallon. The tow car has been a great help. It's getting right at 20 miles to the gallon. And where we're boondocking now here in Montana, it's about a 45-minute drive to town. Take Kobuk to the dog park every other day, just to kind of get out of the bus a little bit. Like I said, I've been working on a new project that will be launching in November. So very excited about that. But that's been way more intensive than I ever imagined. But I'm learning a lot, and I'm having a good time researching it. J. Patrick Duffy, yes, I will finish the ceiling soon. Oh, one other thing Wes and I are going to do is paint the bus. So what I'm planning on doing is actually replicating the element color, the sapphire blue with black. The roof of the bus will be the Henry's Tropical white. Everything else will be that sapphire blue, and the accents will be black. And then when I get to Arizona, I'm going to be getting the Alcoa aluminum polished rims and throwing that on. So I think it'll look pretty sweet. I think it'll look really good. That's the plan right now. But once we get to Kansas, we'll have a better idea of what's happening from there. So if you have any questions, leave them over in the comments. Suzanne, yes, I plan on being at the van build in Arizona in November. I do plan on being there. I have a bunch of solar gear left over that I plan on contributing to the van build. I have tons and tons of wiring and solenoids and switches people can use. Frosty the Bear, any plans for next summer, Alaska? I'm not too sure. It'd be nice if that worked out, but I'm not 100% sure what's happening with that. It depends on how the projects go and how everything goes here during the winter. What are you doing for ceiling insulation? James asked that. James, I'm going to be, what I did was spray foam insulation. There's about 1.5 inches of spray foam insulation on the walls and the ceiling, and the floor has 1.5 inch board insulation. Kirk asked about the urine diverter. It's working great. If you do get a Nature's Head composting toilet, I do suggest you do that and get a holding tank. And that way you're not changing out that little. So basically, the people that don't know, for the Nature's Head composting toilet, separates the solids from the liquids. And if you if you do it the stock route, what will happen is it has this little container that's, I think it was 1.3 gallons, and it fills up really quick. So what you can do is actually divert the urine elsewhere, and that's what I did with my system. I suggest you do that. Trucker Who, you can buy used Alcoa rims. Yes, that is the plan. Either used Alcoas or Tony at AAA Bus in Phoenix. He might have a set. From time to time, he finds some, so I might buy some off him. Koa asks, you given your bus a name? Yes, the bus's name is Zeppelin 2. My first camper van was, my first real Class B camper van, I named it Zeppelin. And this bus is Zeppelin 2. And a little bit of, one of the projects I'm working on right now is actually buying Zeppelin 1 back and creating a YouTube channel. There's going to be more of that happening. I'll be buying that van back here pretty soon, actually. And, I got some plans for that. Not letting that thing go yet. And it's some pretty cool plans. I'm not, really ready to talk about it yet, but the plan is to buy it back, create a channel out of that. And it'll actually give someone the opportunity to live and travel in the van for 6 months at a time and bring new people on. Jeremy asks, are you going to turn your Honda into a mini camper? Yes, that is the plan. That is why I got the Element. They have a tent camper tops you can put on those elements, and the plan is to the bus from time to time, find different Airbnb spots, different tiny home villages, basically just let the bus park there for a month, let people rent it out, get a residual income, and then I'll just take the Element and just go off into the mountains or whatever and just camp in that for a while. Suzanne asked, what do you think of the separate? I've never used it, but people that do have it, they do seem to enjoy it. I mean, honestly, not having a black tank, whatever system you use, as long as you can get rid of the black tank and you have a system that works okay for you, I mean, I think it's well worth it. David, I think the blue will be a great color for the bus, matching the Element. Yeah, I think it looked pretty cool. I seem to get some chrome rims for the Element. Mayhem, yeah, he asked about G. I typically don't talk about G too much. I don't like doing the whole drama thing. I know it's not necessarily drama. It's just I don't know. I just don't like when people bring up their personal stuff. It just seems like attention grabbing almost, and I just kind of keep that to myself. That is one heck of a screen name there, but your question is, can you go back? If you can go back, would you redo your build? Would you still go with something as large as a full-size bus? Absolutely. I've talked about this before, but the 40-foot All-American school bus can hold 36,000 pounds. I was able to build this the way that I wanted. Right now, I'm in a large field out in Montana, and I literally have an apartment on wheels out here. Like, I hang out right here to get work done. I sit on the couch at night, watch some Netflix whenever I'm chilling for the night. I have a full kitchen, lots of food storage, full bathroom, big bedroom area if I just want to go back there and chill. Plenty of storage. Granted, I don't have that much stuff, but I have plenty of room for all my gear. If I could do it all over again, I would absolutely go with a 40-foot bus. If I end up renting this out or I build another one or whatever happens in the future, I will not go with anything other than a 40-foot All-American Bluebird bus with the Allison 3060 and the Cummins 8.3. I would do the exact same thing that I did here. It's been great, knock on wood. It's been holding up well. Carol, can't stay for the live video. I'm getting ready to order through. Oh, thank you for ordering through the Amazon link, Carol. I hope all is well with you out there. Are you going to any good tiny home festivals? Eve asked if I'm going to any tiny home festivals. I am not. Some of my videographers will be going to different tiny home festivals, but right now, my main focus is a product launch in November. So right now, that is the main thing I'm doing. I'm letting the videographers go out there and film for me. Frosty the Bear, I'm in the teardown process now on the Bluebird. If you do make it to Alaska, I'll buy you lunch and toke. Awesome. I'll definitely take you up on that. Toke is always a great place to get to after driving the Alcan. You're back in the States, you're back in Alaska. It just smells like Alaska. It looks like Alaska. I love getting a toke. Toke is an awesome spot. So I will definitely take you up on that if that is still available, if I go back in the spring. Jeremy asked if I'm buying the new MacBook Pro. Absolutely not. I won't buy any MacBook Pros past 2015. 1 second, bear with me. This is a 2012, I think, MacBook Pro, 15-inch. The reason why I go with these MacBook Pros, they still work amazing. And what you can do, you can take this back cover off. You can replace the hard drives. You can add more RAM. You can change out the battery. And the new ones, they made it so you can no longer customize them. So if you are looking for a used MacBook Pro, and I sometimes keep my eye on Craigslist just in case I have a backup one, and I'll just keep in the bus, just keep it stored somewhere just in case this one dies on me, is 2012 15-inch MacBook Pro. If you get the non-retina screen, these things are monsters. 2012, they had some issues with the retina screens. It was like, the first iteration of retina. So they were having some issues. If you get the matte screen, this I got on Craigslist for $350. I added $130 1 terabyte solid state drive and some new RAM. And this right now, you're on my 2017 iMac. This thing will do about 80% of the capacity of this iMac. And this iMac's a 64 gig, terabyte flash hard drive. And what I say by, 75, 80% is when I export a video, that thing will do it only 20% slower than this. So that gives you some idea of how powerful that thing is. And I have about $500 into it. So no, I'll not be getting the new MacBook Pro. Derek asks, how's Kobe? Can you leave the AC on while you're away on other tours? So with Kobuk, my dog, he's outside laying down. Kobuk, come on, bub. See, there's the Kobe's. Come here, bud. He's doing really good. He loves it out here. So he loves going to the dog park. Like I said, I take him to the dog park every other day. And we are about to go on a 2.5, 3 mile run here in a little bit. So he's been getting, okay, down. He's been getting plenty of exercise. He's been enjoying it out here. So when I do tours, if he's with me, I have 2 keys for the Element, and I'll leave him in the car with the AC on if it's hot out. I don't leave him in the bus. He comes with me. And, with that extra key, I'm able to lock the door so somebody can't just jump in, kick him out, and drive off the car or drive off with him in the car. So he comes with me. I just leave the AC on in the car. It has been getting a little hot here. You can see I'm wearing some long sleeve shirt and a hat because it has been getting colder here in Montana with the rain. But when it did get hot here a couple of days, I just kept the AC on in the bus. The AC's working in the bus and it runs off the solar. So he's been staying pretty cool. The way your bus is set up with the batteries, this is Suzanne. Can I do the same way with mine? Yes, you can. It's going to be an investment. But yeah, you can absolutely do the same setup as mine in your bus. Doesn't take up that much room for the 9 batteries. Thanks for welcoming me to Fort Worth. I do enjoy Fort Worth. Suzanne, is there a more direct way of getting in touch with you? Facebook Chris Travels is what I check all the time. How much will the bus tow with your car configuration, engine, tranny? I don't know how much this bus can tow. I know a Honda Element's not going to be anything for this bus. This bus doesn't even notice its backlight. The miles per gallon did not change when I started towing the car. I'm not exactly sure of the numbers of torque on the Cummins 8.3, but I do believe it's around 600 foot-pounds of torque. So that car is not going to do anything. You are nosy. Hey, Chris, I was watching Traveling Robert's channel when he ran into you. Are you going to Burning Man RV event? I'm going to have to research Burning Man RV events. I have not heard about that. Jacoby Jacobs, I'm thinking of buying a Prevost Coast, a diesel pusher, Class A RV, around 60, 70 grand. What do you know or think about these RVs? So I was looking into the Prevost, what are those called? MCRs. I think they're called, basically the tour bus type coaches, and I'm very, very glad I did not go with that. Um, it's tricky. I mean, if you don't have the time like I did to invest into building a bus, because I'm about 2 years in and I'm still not done. There's a lot of work in this bus, and you can just go out there and buy that Prevost. The thing that I will mention with that, and why I'm going to suggest that if you're looking at that, I suggest you get a schoolie conversion that's already been done. With those Prevosts, what will typically happen is if you do need to replace the alternator, if your radiator goes out, if something happens to the engine, the cost to get replacement parts and repair that is going to be much, much more significant in this bus. For example, this Cummins 8.3 with this school bus, for me to have a radiator blow out and find a replacement when used and find a place that's able to work on it is going to be much more likely than you being able to be on the road and find that replacement part. And you're going to have a harder time finding somebody that's willing to work on it. Also, the cost. Tony from AAA Bus in Phoenix, we were talking about it, and he mentioned that an alternator for those MCIs, MCIs and Prevost, a replacement alternator is going to be like $5,000, $4,000 or $5,000, where the alternator went out on this bus and it cost me $130, and that was a brand new one. So, it's definitely an investment if you're going to get one of those buses. Just keep in mind that if you do get that and you need to get repairs done or something happens to it on the road, you're going to be spending way more money than somebody did a school bus conversion. And the reason why I'm a fan of buying used school bus conversions is if they've been on the road full time, they know all the issues. They typically went through the bus. They've been on the road for a while, so they went and repaired everything that was going to break. Because typically there's always a break-in period when you buy these school buses where it will, have all the issues. It's not used to going 250 miles a day on the interstate, so you're stressing parts that the school district didn't want to fix before they, offloaded it in the auction or whatever. So you're typically getting a roadworthy vehicle, and people typically sell buses just for the equity they have into it, not the sweat equity, not the hours and hours they put into actually converting the bus. So that Prevost is around 60, 70 grand, where it's not unlikely for you to get a good bus for 40. So that's just something to think about. Frosty the Bear, I've been toying with using used Tesla batteries. Yeah, people have done that. Aaron from Broccoli Bus, the guy that helped me do my solar, he has a Nissan Leaf battery bank in his bus, but you're really getting into some really technical aspects of the build. Aaron is one of the most brilliant guys that I know, and if you're able to hire someone like that, I guess I don't know your skill level, but it just seems like that's a very big undertaking where Battleborn is just the easy button, or any other lithium battery company. It's just the easy button. It has a BMS built in, it has a warranty, where if you start getting into that, that third or the different companies' batteries that aren't necessarily meant to do what you're trying to make them do, it seems like it gets a little tricky. And I plan on doing this for about 20 minutes, so I'll do one more question. So we'll go with Neokashi. Yo, Chris, great to see you. What's up, bud? I've loved your videos. Thanks for watching. I'm close to buying my first bus. My biggest hurdle right now is finding a place to store it and work on it. And that is something that a lot of people run into. And it's something you should be very cognizant of as you start to think about doing your bus, because there's a lot of people that will buy a bus. They get all excited. They buy the bus and they don't have a place to work on it, or they find a place to work on it and all of a sudden the neighbors start complaining and they have to move their bus, and then they have to find a storage yard that's half an hour away that costs $200 a month to store it, or they just sell the bus. They take the seats out, they start to build, and they have no place to work on it, and then they're done. They have no other options. So um, that is something that before you buy a bus, make sure that you have one spot figured out for sure, and then have a backup spot on top of that, because that is one of the biggest things that I see happening to people, where they have to sell their bus. They're all excited, they have money invested into it, and then all of a sudden something happens where they're not able to work on their bus, and that's it. So be very careful with that, and yeah, good luck. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing this every Sunday. So if you guys like this, let me know down in the comments. I'll be checking that out. And also, I wanted to do this because where I'm at in Montana, I'm not moving. I'm literally just right here on the computer, or going into town and take Kobuck to the dog park. I have not been filming whatsoever, so I just wanted to catch up with everybody. So I appreciate all of you that are watching, everybody that watches the channel. Um, it's been amazing out here in Montana. Like, I built the bus for this, to come out to a spot, park, and not move, and just get work done. And it's been awesome to have that come to fruition. You know, what I've been working for is finally happened. I'm able to do it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you probably next Sunday.